it's your boy MtG here, back with another Magic video, and Merry Christmas to you all, especially my subscribers. I guess I have to say that, because there has to be some kind of reward for being a subscriber of mine. That's your reward. You get a special Merry Christmas. Everyone else Merry Christmas as well, or Happy Holidays, however you want to say it. Yeah, that's it. Welcome to the video. We're playing a Simic ramp deck that tops out with a huge Finale of Devastation at the end. So let's talk about this Simic Finale of Devastation deck. Here it is. We've got two Arboreal Grazers. Hopefully we can drop one on turn 1 to get an extra land on the field. And then in the 2 slot, we have just a ton of ramp. We've got Growth Spirals. We've got Paradise Druids. We've got Leafkin Druids. We have, obviously, we're running 4 Hydroid Crisis, because this is going to refill our hand later on in the game once we put a bunch of lands on the field. We've got 4 Risen Reef over here as well. I need to put Finale of Devastation back here because that's a late game play. We've got 4 Risen Reef, and this is one of the biggest parts of the deck, most important pieces, because Risen Reef allows us to get lands from our library onto the field and kind of cantrips, right? So cantrips are elementals. It's either putting a card into our hand or a land onto the battlefield. So that's really nice. And that triggers not only off Risen Reef, but also off Leafkin Druid and Cavalier of Thorns, which we're running 2 of. Cavalier of Thorns, also his enter the battlefield ability is that you look at your top 5 cards of your library and put a land card from among those onto the battlefield, and the rest in your graveyard. So not necessarily, you don't put it on tapped necessarily, but you can put a land card straight on the battlefield so you can immediately use it. But the point of this deck, right, is to get a ton of mana really fast and then drop a huge Finale of Devastation on your opponent, get End-Raze Forerunners or Agent of Treachery and win the game. Generally, we're winning with End-Raze Forerunners, but because I'm a jank lover, I love Agent of Treachery. It's a good card, but really we want to be winning with End-Raze Forerunners. This is more of a cheeky play in the mid-game if we don't have a Finale or we don't have an End-Raze Forerunners, and we need to stall our opponent or take some of their key pieces. Agent of Treachery is a really nice play, and we should be able to get there pretty often. But most of the time, we want to be casting Finale for 10 mana. So X equals 10, because Finale of Devastation, if you don't know the card, it is a 2 green and an X mana cost, and you get to search your library and graveyard for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less and put it onto the battlefield. So that's why we're playing big creatures. Agent of Treachery is 7 mana, End-Raze Forerunners is 8 mana, and then if shuffle your library. If X is 10 or more, creatures you control get plus X in haste until end of turn. So basically, no matter what we get, for the most part, even if we're going to get a Cavalier of Thorns or a Risen Reef, if we're casting this for 10 or more, we're probably winning the game, right? We really want to be winning the game on that play, because that's a lot of power on the field. If we have a number of creatures on the field, which generally we will have multiple creatures on the field because these are our ramp pieces, Leafkin Druid, Paradise Druid, Risen Reef, all are going to be adding to our ramp. We will probably have a lot of creatures, and giving all of our creatures plus 10 or more is going to generally win us the game, regardless of what we pull out of our library. So obviously, generally we want End-Raze Forerunners because it has Vigilance, Trample, and Haste, and when it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +2/+2 in Vigilance and Trample. And Trample is also important, right, because this doesn't actually, Finale of Devastation does not actually give your creatures Trample, which is actually an important note, because if the opponent has blockers and you don't bring out End-Raze Forerunners, then you're going to be in trouble. But also, we should be basically decimating our opponent's board at that point. That is why it's called Finale of Devastation, because this is a devastating play if you get it to cast it for 10 or more. Other kind of cheeky things we're playing in here. Obviously, we're playing Nissa Who Shakes the World. This is a very big part of our ramp because it turns all our forests into double mana producers, right? So every time we cast a forest or tap a forest for mana, we add an additional green. That's great, but also we can usually drop this on turn 4 and get that ramp early, and we can create creatures out of that can attack and put pressure on our opponent, force them to chump block or remove Nissa or remove those land creatures, one of the two. We are also playing 2 quasi-duplicates, because generally we want to be quasi-duplicating either Risen Reef or Cavalier of Thorns, because they're both very important for us. Cavalier of Thorns, most important as a blocker and as a way to get another land out of our library onto the field. But is also just a large body, against aggro and mid-range decks. This is very important. It's a 5/6 with reach, and it has multiple upsides, so that's really nice. But generally, we want to be using this early, or at least in the mid-game, usually on Risen Reef or Cavalier of Thorns, to get extra lands, get extra elemental triggers going off. But occasionally, In a pinch, we might want to use this on End-Raze Forerunners and or Agent of Treachery to get a little extra boost later on in the game. The only reason we're running 2 Arboreal Grazers instead of... I have in the past run 4 Arboreal Grazers in ramp decks like this, and I've learned recently that it's kind of just not that good because, I mean, the biggest problem with Arboreal Grazer is if you gosh, I just had a stroke. If you ever draw an Arboreal Grazer like halfway through the game, it's pretty much a worthless play. It doesn't really do anything for you. So having 4 of those in your deck is going to make you draw them pretty often, but also the reason I was playing 4 is to have higher odds of having it in your starting hand, which is really where you want it. But having 2 in your deck is good to occasionally have in your starting hand to get a little bit of a jump off, but not really bog you down with cards that are dead cards later on in the game. So I think that's the reason we're only running 2. You could honestly cut this to 1 or 0. If you're not a fan of the card, you could just cut it out entirely for something else. But I do think Arboreal Grazer, at least as a 1 of or 2 of, is kind of important in this deck. Things we haven't talked about. We've talked about everything. Hydroid Cases, again, is going to be a big threat later on in the game, but also gains us life and draws us cards. So if we are getting run down by aggro, but we do have a lot of ramp, we can cast this for maybe 8 or 10, and then that will give us fill up our hand and gain us some life, which should keep us alive long enough to make our finale plays. And remember, folks, don't ever use Finale of Devastation and get a Hydroid Krasis out, because Hydroid Krasis is a 0/0 when it enters the battlefield. Yeah, just don't do that. Don't do it. What else do we need to talk about? Oh, Tamiyo. We're playing 1 single Tamiyo because oftentimes we will be forced to discard very important pieces to this deck, and we can use either Tamiyo will protect us from getting discarded out, or we can go to our graveyard and get it back, or we can just search the top 4 cards of our library and pick out what we want, basically. I say not search. If we need a specific piece, like we're looking for a Finale or we're looking for a Hydroid Krasis, we can say, oh, +1 Hydroid Krasis, look at the top 4 cards. If we get one, great. If not, next turn we can pull something out of the graveyard that we need. And we're going to have a lot of stuff in the graveyard if we're playing Cavalier of Thorns, because it puts a bunch of cards in your graveyard. One thing I should mention about this deck is that you can get dangerously close to milling yourself with this bad boy. If you have a Risen Reef or 2 on the field, you drop in a Cavalier of Thorns, you're probably going to end up, cutting 6 to 8 cards out of your deck with that one play. So you really have to be careful that you don't mill yourself out. A lot of decks like this will run a single Jace, or I think just you would run a single copy of Jace. What is his name? What is this Jace? Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, to make sure that you don't lose by milling yourself out. But I think there's not really room for it in this deck. You could potentially cut a Quasi-Duplicate or Agent of Treachery for Jace, but I think I like it the way it is. This is at least how we're going to play it. If you think I'm wrong about this, please do let me know in the comments below. I do read that stuff. I will try to respond to you. One thing I should note, we're playing 25 lands. I tried it with 24. It's just not consistent enough. We need to have 4 or 5 lands. Like, if we don't get a 4th land, or up to 4 accessible mana by turn 3, we're in big trouble with this deck. So you want to make sure you're curving out on your lands, making sure you hit all your land drops, because if you ever get stuck, you're pretty much toast, right? So let's get after it. Let's go play some games. You can worry about the mana base on your own. Basically, budget it however you want to. I will say, you probably need some what's it called? Breeding ground? Is that what it's called? Is that what the blue-green shockland is called? Breeding ground? It just seems weird, but I think that's right, actually. Strange that I can't remember that. This is definitely a keeper. We can probably Growth Spiral on turn 2, then play Risen Reef on turn 3 to follow up with Leafkin Druid. Okay, great. So we go Temple of Mystery. Hello, Blood Sausage. Breeding Pool, not Breeding Ground. Breeding Pool. Do we draw Breeding Pool here? I actually think the answer is going to be no. I think we actually bottom that because we have 3 other lands in our deck, and we're going to draw with Growth Spiral next turn. So I think that's a no. Okay. We're seeing double green, which probably just means mono green Stompy here. That's my guess. So they're probably looking at a Paradise Druid or a Surfair in the Hingehammer. Not exactly what I expected, but, it'll do. We could go Paradise Druid here to at least fake a block. But I think the best bet is just to ramp instead. So, Yeah, let's go ahead and pass the turn. We can do this on their turn. I want to see what they do first. See if they play this aggressive. Okay, so they don't have anything else on the board. So they just attack with Sir Farron. If they're curving out well, they'll have a Yorvo here. Archide Troll. Okay, that works too. So we'll go Growth Spiral right here. Put the... Doesn't really matter. Excuse me. Fabled Passage can come in next turn. Okay, so they got a bunch of creatures on the field. This is where we go Risen Reef, and then there's a Leafkin Druid. So now we'll go Temple of Mystery, Scry up. I think we bottom a Quasi-Duplicate right here. So the bad news is that we're ramping a little bit slower than I would like, and they did go first and put quite a few threats on the board. There's a Questing Beast, so we may be in trouble right here. In fact, I am thinking we're going to be in trouble if we don't do something about this. So let's think about what we can do. Okay, that's smart. They keep their Sedge Scorpion alive. I will take 6, 10, 12 damage. Woo, that will take me to 6. I don't think I can survive if I don't block. But I think even if I do block, I still don't survive. So, let's think about this. Let's think about it. I think I go no blocks. I try to make it work with my Risen Reef. Hydroid Crisis doesn't help us enough here. We'll go you. I could just play Cavalier of Thorns. I think I actually go Island here, make sure. So we could go Cavalier of Thorns. That gives us a big blocker. It puts a land on the field, but I can't play anything of that land. So I could go double Leafkin Druid. Try to survive. Cavalier of Thorns at least gives us a blocker, but we lose. I think we lose either way, right? I'm pretty sure we're dead. That was too big of a turn, so pretty confident that we lose here. Yeah, we put an island on the field, and we're done. We die. No attacks. So maybe, I mean, until turn 4, we had 18 life. They just had a huge turn 4, and we're dead. That's a good game. Let's put a Fabled Passage on top, but I'll just go ahead and concede. Speed this up. Try to get another game in. That was a strange, like, they curved out almost perfectly. I can't see any other way that they could have, curved out better, except if they had maybe a turn 1 Sedge Scorpion to get a little extra damage in. Other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot we could have done about that. The only thing I'm thinking is that maybe we could have gone Paradise Druid on turn 2 instead of Growth Spiral, because then we still would have been able to play Risen Reef on turn 3 anyway. And that was the only thing we played on turn 3. So if we'd gone Paradise Druid turn 2, we could have played Risen Reef and had a blocker. I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, bad starting hand. The only good thing about this hand is that we have a Temple of Mystery and we're on the draw with it. So we could potentially draw into our 3rd land here, but I think we just mulligan. That's actually great. I'm going to bottom Cavalier of Thorns here. But we can go... Yeah, this is good. We go, yep. Arboreal Grazer. Put the island on the field. Yeah, no. This is fine. Okay, Skynet Vanguard, so this is tokens of some sort. Got Temple of Mystery. I think we go Temple of Mystery. Keep that on top. Then we can Growth Spiral. Put the other Temple of Mystery onto the field. Yep, drawn to a Nissa for turn 3. So no attacks. We hold Arboreal Grazer as a blocker. Unfortunately, we're going to take a little bit of damage, but we can live with it. Legion War Boss. So this is, yeah, this is tokens. Boros tokens. Fabled Passage. We go for Forest. If they're doing like a Cavalcade of Calamities thing, that would be a bummer. Yeah, let's put that on the Forest. I can attack, put some pressure on them, and this should stop them from just attacking with everything next turn. So I'm not going to play the Leafkin Druid, even though I could. I don't think there's much point to doing that when I need to keep this blocker up. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to take some hits with Nissa. And we hope they don't have a combat trick. We can block some of this damage. Block, block. She takes 3, goes to 3. And it's our turn. Okay, great. Let's go Risen Reef first. See what we draw into here. I actually decline. I'm going to put that in my hand because I haven't played from my hand yet. And then we'll go Leafkin Druid. Yep, put that on the battlefield. Tapped. Scry. I think I actually bottom that. We gotta have threats at this point. Let's see. I'm gonna attack here. If they want to kill one of my forests, they've got a double block here, and I don't think they're gonna do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. And then we can play. We could play Paradise Druid, but I think I want to keep a better. Forest is just a better blocker right now, and I don't really get a whole lot out of playing Paradise Druid right here. It's because we've got 2 mana, 3 mana, 5 mana, 7, 9. 12 mana, so if we drew Finale of Devastation, we could cast it for 10. We could definitely cast it for 10. Oh, yikes. Yikes indeed. So Divine Visitation, that's scary. We don't have a whole lot of interaction here. Yeah, so what they're doing is trying to get me to block and kill Hunted Witness to give them another angel, but I'm just not going to do it. Skynet Vanguard gives them another angel, so they're going to kill my Nissa. Let's see. No, wait. Yeah, Nissa dies no matter what. So I think all we do is block there, prevent 1 damage. Try to get a big play here. I mean, we don't really have interaction. That's actually super good. Cavalier of Thorns is nice. We get the elemental cantrip. Growth Spiral is a bad draw right here. We get 1 island. That's pretty terrible. Yeah, it looks like we just lose, right? We're just dead. We're just dead to Divine Visitation. Dang, where's our Finale of Devastation? Where's our stuff, bros? Okay. I mean, we can't really attack because we just lose a forest to this angel, so we're dead, right? Because they produce 2 more angels this turn. That's assuming they don't have anything else. So with 4 angels attacking, I can only block 1 with... No, I can block 2 of them, actually. So I can block 2. So we go... Resolve. Pass to blockers. I block there. I block there. I don't think they thought about that. So I'll take 12 damage. And then we can block you to make sure we only take 12. And if they have... Okay, God's willing. Fair enough. That's fine. At least they don't have, whatchamacallit. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Justice Strike. Are you kidding me? That's terrible. Okay. Please give me Finale of Devastation. Hydroid Crisis. Can we make Hydroid Crisis work? I don't think so. I think we will still die. So we'll have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we can cash that for 9. They'll create too many tokens. We'll die. I think we're dead anyway. I don't know if there's anything we can do, except potentially if we drew an Agent of Treachery. Okay, so what do we have here? We could go Nissa, Who Shakes the World, put that on top. That doesn't really help us. None of this helps us. So we... Wait, did I say yes? I thought... Why? No, I don't... Darn it. Maybe... No, decline. Okay, I can decline at that point. I have to choose a card, and then I can decline. Okay, well, we lose. We quasi-duplicate Risen Reef. Boom, boom. Decline, I want to draw that. Then we draw Risen Reef. We play that. And we're getting a million Risen Reef triggers. We're still going to lose. There's a Hydroid Crisis. Take action. Take action. And I concede. Well, we tried. We actually had a decent start that game. Like, we had a good start, but we don't... Our deck relies on us not needing interaction on game 1. It just relies on us murdering our opponent before they can actually start overwhelming the board, and that's what they did. They had enough stuff on the board that could get over my blockers, which is unusual. You don't see Divine Visitation decks very often because they're pretty fragile. But when you're playing best of 1, I can see it happening like frequently. I'm going to keep this. This is a bad hand, but I'm going to keep it anyway. See if we can maybe do something with it, but it looks like it's going to be white weenies. We'll go trigger Fabled Passage now, get a forest. We don't have a turn 2 play, which really sucks. Okay, so it's not white weenies. It looks like Azorius Flyers. I'm actually going to go ahead and play Leafkin Druid, even though I don't get the Risen Reef trigger. I think that's okay. Cloudkin Seer, yep. So Azorius Flyers, we may be able to win fast enough that they won't destroy us. It all depends on what we get here. No, we don't want to put that on the battlefield tapped, because that kind of defeats the purpose, right? But also, if we draw into a land next turn, so we just played a land, it doesn't matter. I think the best play is just, yeah, put it on the battlefield, even though it doesn't help us immediately. Best play is to put that on the battlefield, get it out of the way, so in case we draw a land next turn, we can still play it. So Elite Guard Mage comes in. Fine. We need to... So we go Yahtzee, Forest, Island. I'm actually going to tap this for green. Nope, tap for blue, tap for blue. Yeah, we go green, blue, play a Nissa. Nissa's probably going to die, but I do get actually a decent amount of value out of her now because I can do this and attack for 3, which if they block, they're dumb, so they don't block, that's good. And then we Risen Reef here, get double triggers off of that, and hopefully we can... Good. Okay, so we get that. We get to scry. I think I scry that to the bottom. Yes, take action. Great. Okay, so even though Nissa's going to die, well, not necessarily. She probably dies. Like if they play... whatchamacallit, the bird anthem. Unbreakable Formation. Wow. Yikes. Okay. That's a thing. She's dead now. And I take 2. But I can play another Nissa, which should get me... I'm trying to think. That should give me enough mana to Agent of Treachery. Something? Ooh, nice. That's great. Okay, so we go island, island, green, green. Wait, no, we go double greens there. I'm gonna go back. Untap one of those islands. So we go green. Undo, undo, okay. Tap you, tap you. Tap a forest, because we want to keep a blue mana source ready. We go Nissa again.
Seek shelter in my stewardship.
I'm gonna Agent of Treachery. I mean, this is the Elite Guard Mage is the best blocker, right? Yeah. And then I can... So I don't get to play Quasi-Duplicate. I think I messed up when I messed up tapping. I could have done this slightly differently. If I'd played her untapped... I don't know if I could have, because I'd have to have double blue. Either way, we'll untap a forest.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
I don't think we attack with it, right? Because we just lose the forest. I think we don't attack. We just try to stay alive. Elite Guard Mage actually is pretty helpful. We can quasi-duplicate Agent of Treachery. Okay, that's a nice play. Arrester's Admonition. Weird that they play Arrester's Admonition in this deck. Another Unbreakable Formation. So they attack, attack. I take 4 damage. So they've had 2 Unbreakables already. Nissa is dead now. Growth Spiral. Yeah, we'll go Agent of Treachery again. Steel Spectral Sailor, and then we'll do it again. Discard that. I could have done Risen Reef, got triple triggers off that. I actually probably should have done that. I think I take Healer's Hawk because I'm going to need the life gain. And then I attack, see if they block here. Okay, good. They don't block. The reason I took Spectral Sailor instead of Cloud Conceer is because I'm going to want his ability to draw me cards. In the days to come, I'll probably need that. Another Arrester's Admonition. Lame. Lame, lame, lame. Ooh, Papa. Yes, baby. We go another Nissa Shake Throw. That was a very nice draw. Really fortunate draw right there. Do that. I'm going to go to combat. Attack with all 3 of these. See if they block with anything. They could potentially... Nope, they don't. Which is pretty nice. Let's see. I still... Yeah, I think I actually do that. I'll just draw a card. Ooh, nice. Nissa dies, right? No, Nissa doesn't die because I can block with Spectral Sailor if they decide to attack. I can block with Spectral Sailor. So Nissa should stay alive long enough for me to get the finale, play the finale that I need. Another Healer's Hawk. Okay, okay, okay. Empyrean Eagle. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, we can still keep Nissa alive because we just block there. And she takes 3. Block to damage. Finale is what we needed. Okay, so we shock that in. Tap you. Untap. We play this for 12. How much can I get? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that should be right. I was a little bit off, but that works for me. Go to my library. End-Raze Forerunners. Here we go. There it is. There it is, baby. Yeah, that's the play. See, all you have to do is stay alive until you can play the one thing that you need to play. That's it. That's it. It's easy when you draw. It's easy when you draw what you need, right? Magic is easy. Just draw the right cards. That's what Merchant says. Magic is easy. Just draw what you need. Whatever. That's what he says. We're gonna play one more game. Try to get another good win. And our first two games were pretty rough. And that game kind of looked rough at first, but there was the big play, right? That was what we needed. So let's see. We've got Finale. We've got Agent of Treachery. We can keep, and I'm gonna keep it because we get a Paradise Druid turn 2, which is pretty important. And if nothing else, we can play Hydroid Krasis turn 3 for cast that for 2, gain a life, and draw a card, which isn't the worst play in the world. It's not very good, but it's not the worst play in the world. Inspiring Veteran. Okay. No blocks. We may just get run over by this. So let's see. I think maybe we do go ahead and play Hydroid Krasis, because if we get Nissa a turn from now, I'm gonna do this. This is a weird play, I know. Oh, that sucks. Arboreal Grazer is a terrible draw right there. As I said, it's kind of a dead card when you draw it in the middle of the game. Hushbringer, really? No blocks.
Through this land, we are all connected.
We'll do this.
Harness the elements.
Go to combat. Yep, and then we'll actually play Arboreal Grazer because it has reach. It's a decent. Oh crap! I forgot about Hushbringer already. I forgot about this passive ability. Oopsie. I wanted to play my Temple of Mystery right now, but I can't. So that was just a waste. I guess Arboreal Grazer is a chump blocker now, so something. Sky Knight Legionnaire. Okay. Our primary goal is keeping Nissa alive. I think we block like that. Venerable Knight's ability doesn't trigger because of Hushbringer, so they screwed themselves with that one. Hang on. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we untap, we've got enough for Agent of Treachery. I think I bottomed this. Oh wait, Agent of Treachery doesn't work because of Hushbringer. Nothing works because Hushbringer is here. I think we just lose, right? We're just gonna be dead. There's pretty much nothing we can do. Except just win like a normal person. We can do that. So we'll go Temple of Mystery. I will attack. Assume they don't block, so we'll go to 11. Or they'll go to 11. Agent of Treachery does me no good. We'll go Growth Spiral. This is actually good. I know it doesn't trigger when it enters the battlefield, but it's a 5/6 blocker with reach. So we're going to play that. True Fire Captain. Yikes. I think they forgot about this having reach. Nice. Okay, how much mana do we have? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7. Untap. That'd be 8. So we can't cast this for very much.
Rise, my elemental friend.
We go Agent of Treachery. I think we just win, right? Because we go Agent of Treachery, take True Fire Captain, and then we win. That works for me. They messed up. We get a win. We didn't get our Finale of Devastation played that game, but I'm pretty okay with that. And I'm going to call it there. Pretty okay. Not the greatest performance ever, but the deck is good. The deck is solid. It's not perfect. Again, as I said at the beginning of the video, drop suggestions for this deck in the comments. If you're playing Simic ramp that ends with Finale of Devastation, let me know how you're doing it. This is how I'm doing it right now. And I expect it usually to be better. Kind of surprised we lost those first 2 games as bad as we did. But, you know, things happen. It happens, right? We did have a pretty sweet game 3. That was pretty awesome. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like so that other people can see it. And if you enjoy my content and you want to see more of it, make sure you subscribe so that, yeah, you join the club, basically. That's all it is. It's a club of nerds who like Magic the Gathering. And if you want to talk about Magic the Gathering with me and other nerds like yourself, join the Discord. The link to that is in the description of the video, as it is in every video, as well as the deck list that you see here from Aether Hub. So go check that out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy holidays and peace.